Okay, when Soumya first sent out the mail about the baby shower, I was thinking of how to make this day special for the two of you, and I thought I'd just take an easy way out. I'll just tell you how special it is. And for anyone who's known me, knows me that I'm very passionate about my grandfather who passed away in '94 in a very freak accident. And one of the things that really defined him as a person was how good of a friend he was. He shared a beautiful 50-year-old bond with a very good friend of his, and that is something that really affected me deeply when he died. And because through observation and countless anecdotes of the two of them, their friendship was really the stuff of legends in our family. And after he died, for the first couple of years, it was very tough for me emotionally. I used to miss him a lot, just thinking about the things that I could have done with him had he been alive. But it was in '96 that Harish came to the school that I was studying in, and we became good buddies over the course of time, and used to play a lot of cricket. We used to think that studies was a distraction from cricket for us, and so as time went on, we just used to share a lot of things, just talking about a lot of things under the sun, just playing a lot and studying very little. But in '97, in the summer of '97, Harish had an asthma operation that he had to undergo, and it was at the same hospital that my grandpa had passed away, and I was finding it very difficult to even think about visiting Harish at the hospital. I just had vivid memories of that day when he passed away. But when I was talking to my family, they told me that if at all I really loved and admired my grandpa, then I should definitely go visit him at that hospital, and that is really what my grandpa would have preferred for me to do. And so I went along with a couple of friends because I didn't think I had this friend. I went along with a couple of friends, and there was Harish. He was actually playing a video game in his hospital room. It was very typical of him, and we were there concerned about his surgery. He wasn't. He wanted to continue playing even when he was in a hospital room, and that really speaks a lot about his attitude towards life. He wants to make sure that he enjoys life. He doesn't want to get bogged down by any issues. He wants to make sure that the people around him are really enjoying life. That's a beautiful quality about him. He's not a narcissistic person. He wants people around him to enjoy along with him. And so after both of us finished our 12, I had to come to the US with my family to pursue my undergrad. And one of the quotes that's attributed to Randy Pausch that I like a lot is, brick walls are there for a reason. They help you show how badly you want things. And that separation really, I thought was going to be difficult for us in order to continue our friendship, maintain that bond. But it really was something that strengthened our bond. We began to realize that even with the little communication that we had between India and the US, we could really strengthen that bond, share a lot of things. And because I always feel that to a good friend, you say, I hope you will understand. To a great friend, you can say, I'm sure you will understand. And Harish is definitely one such friend of mine with whom when I was in the US and when he was in India, I could really talk to him and just share whatever it is that I wanted with him. I just knew that he had the right answers for me. And even if he didn't have the right answers, he was at least there for me. And after he came over to the US, and then Charu came into his life, and one of the things that Harish did right when Charu came into his life was to tell him how important his group of friends was, because he wanted her to be a part of this group of friends, make sure that she had that sense of belonging, make sure that his friends had a sense of belonging with her. And Charu responded beautifully. She really didn't want to just act as a friend's wife. She wanted to be as good a friend as Harish was to all of us. And one of the things that I've read about communication is that there's this quote that I really like, that the missing ingredient in most failed communication is humanity. And if you really flip that over, you have what's good about Harish and Charu. They really communicate with a lot of humanity and a lot of empathy with people. And I'd like to give an example for each of Harish and Charu to show how they communicate effectively. This New Year's, when we had got together in Charlotte along with Frank and a couple of others, when I was leaving at the airport, I was feeling very low and very emotional. I really felt bad that I was leaving them, and I kind of broke down. And Harish, when others were trying to say things to me, Harish was the one who didn't say anything to me. He just was there for me. He didn't open his mouth. He didn't want to say anything to me. He just wanted to stand there next to me, just let me be myself and then leave. And then even when I was leaving, he didn't say, hey, take care, nothing. He said, bye, take care, just give me a call after you get home. That's all that he said. And that meant a lot to me. And Charu, she has a different way of communicating with you. It's like in a very simple, artless way. It's like when she talks something, it's easy to understand. Like there was this one instance where she had visited me and my family in Memphis, and after she got back to Buffalo, she sent me an email. She said it was the first time that she had some quality time that she could spend with my wife, and she said, your wife is a very special person, please take care of her. That's all that she said in an email to me. And that's like kind of the way in which she communicates. It's like she uses simple words, it's not like fancy, but she really means what she says. And over the course of time, the two of them, they've really lent a lot of meaning to the lives of their friends. They are really like, they want to be there for their friends, like on occasions such as these. When we talk about like getting an invitation from them, there's no question of missing these occasions because we know that they really want us to be there as part of their happiness. And I'm glad that all of us could be here. And one of the things that I wanted to mention was, like whenever I used to go back to India, like I used to spend more time at Harish's place than I did at my place. And one huge reason was the warmth and hospitality of Uncle and Auntie. I feel bad that Auntie isn't here today, but I'm glad that Uncle could be here today. Uncle was as good a friend as Harish was to us. He would just chit-chat with us. Even if Harish wasn't in the house, he wouldn't care. He'd just say, hey Ram, let's come over here, let's talk about something and we'll chat. So his warmth and hospitality and all of that was exuded by him and Auntie, that really meant a lot to us. And Harish and Charu continue in the same tradition. They are as hospitable as people that you can find when you're in their house. You feel totally at home. They want you to feel comfortable. They don't want you to ask questions. There was once, like the first time I was here, I asked Harish, can I take some milk for coffee? And he looked at me like in the strangest way. Why are you asking me this question? Just go get it. And that's the kind of feeling that Harish and Charu want all of us to have whenever we are with them. And with the arrival of the new one, and I know that they have wonderful parents, and the child is actually going to be the case of the whole being more than the sum of its parts. And I really hope that the child has a very healthy life, and I hope we get to be a part of all the memories that they call the child.